country taking up the bulk of the Arabian Peninsula has had an ascent to prosperity which is unparalleled by almost any country in the history of the world. With such an extensive past, the economic history of this desert nation, turned economic stronghold, has to be explored in order to understand how this kingdom became what it is today. Saudi Arabia was formed after the fall of the Ottoman Empire following the First World War. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was established in 1932 and named after the founding family, the House of Saud. Before then, the economy wasn't stable by any means, but the discovery of oil in 1938 changed this country from a desert wasteland into a monetary powerhouse. The current population of Saudi Arabia is 28 million. Compared to 1960, when the population was about 4 million, it has grown over 24 million in just 50 years. By the year 2030, they are projected to grow to 38 million. Such a rapid growth rate may sound like a good thing, but with half of the population under 25 years old and a youth unemployment rate of 28%, this could cause problems for the future economy of Saudi Arabia. With the GDP of Saudi Arabia at $752 billion in 2014, the GDP per capita was around $24,000. 2% of this GDP comes from agriculture, 62.5% from industry, and 35.5% comes from services. The GDP has grown from $4 billion in 1968 to a whopping $752 billion in 2014. The biggest industries for Saudi Arabia are crude oil and petroleum refining. Saudi Arabia controls about 16% of the world's proven petroleum reserves and was the leading exporter of petroleum until recently. In 2014, the United States surpassed them in oil production. Their economy relies heavily on oil. With the recent drop in oil prices, many are worried about the welfare of Saudi Arabia's economy. The King of Saudi Arabia has adopted policies to help diversify the economy and employ more natives. Saudi Arabia focuses its exporting power on petroleum and petroleum products. In 2012, those sectors accounted for 90% of their exports. They exported mainly to the United States, Japan, and China. While on the other hand, their main imports were machinery and equipment, foodstuffs, chemicals, motor vehicles, and textiles. In 2012, they imported mainly from China and the United States. Foreign direct investment will play a big part in the long-run well-being of Saudi Arabia. In 2013, they had $241 billion of FDI at home, and they have plans to open their market up for more foreign investment. Unlike the United States, church and state are not separated in Saudi Arabia. The chief religion, Islam, is the foundation of their government. Saudi Arabian leaders incentivize foreign direct investment not only by giving foreigners the same benefits offered to Saudi individuals and businesses, but also by offering incentives for foreign companies to create business partnerships with Saudi companies. Another way that the government gets involved in the economy is by participating in protectionism. The Saudi government gives priority to all locally made products. They also help local industries by not requiring them to pay customs on the imports of supplies and machinery used to produce their goods. Saudi Arabia is a country that has basically risen out of nothing to become an economic powerhouse. This doesn't mean that they don't face challenges or difficulties, but if they can successfully diversify their economy, prepare the younger generation for work, and continue implementing the right policies, they will continue to prosper.